Most people outside Central Africa have never truly understood what Congo means, not historically, not spiritually, not civilizationally. There are two Congos and they do not carry the same meaning. Congo with a K is not a country. It's not only a country, it is the origin. This is the primordial field, a frequency far older than the royal structure that colonial textbooks like to highlight. If we truly understood how ancient this matrix is, we would burn our history books, but we will speak of this another time. For now, we need to understand one thing. In Kikongo, the word Mukongo means a person of the Congo people, but it also means Mukongo, it also means the spine, the vertical column that holds the human body upright. This is no coincidence. This is a geometry. Congo is the spine. Congo with the K is the spine of a people. The structure, the alignment through which harmony and equilibrium manifest. When I say Congo with the K, I am pointing towards the axis, the place where the backbone stands. This is not tribalism, this is symbolism, and those who know how to read symbols will understand exactly what it means. Congo with a C, the modern state. Congo with a C, the DRC, is a modern political state built during Belgian rule, a young state containing ancient people. And let me clarify something essential because it is often misunderstood or deliberately twisted. The only region that Europeans fragmented was the Congo Kingdom. When I talk about this area, of course, not other African countries. The only region that European fragmented was the Congo Kingdom, the ancestral matrix. But the territory that became Zaire was not broken apart. In fact, the opposite happened. Belgian administrators expanded the territory by integrating multiple historic kingdoms and political entities. After consulting chiefs, councils, and traditional custodians. Among there were the Luba Kingdom, the Lunda Empire, the Kuba Kingdom, the Tetela region, the Mongo, Wele, the Kivu Highland and their chieftaincies, the Rwenzori territories, and region extended towards Katanga and the Great Lakes. There was no passive annexation. There was nation agreed to join a larger political ensemble, a vast unified space that would become known as Congo, or a little bit further, Zaire. This is why DRC borders have remained stable for more than a century. They were not random, they were not imposed, they came from aggregation, not fragmentation. From constant, not division. Understanding this is essential to read the present moment. Congolese leaders have arrived in Washington. An agreement presented as strategic, even as a path to peace, is being signed. But for many Congolese, this moment carries another meaning, a renunciation, dispossession, another fracture in sovereignty already weakened by history, dependency, and unhealed wounds. So the question arises, could we have prevented this moment, or was it in some sense, inevitable? To read this moment made it turn to the prophecy of Simon Kimbangu, and I would have said I turn deliberately to the prophecy of Simon Kimbangu, not as a political fortune telling, but as a Congo and highlighting lens. First of all, who was Kimbangu? Who was Simon Kimbangu? Simon Kimbangu was not a local preacher. He was not a regional figure. He was not a tribal leader. He was a national axis, a metaphorical disruptor, okay? And a metaphysical disruptor. He was a restorer, a direct threat to the colonial order, and spiritually, symbolically, this matters. Simon Kimbangu traveled across the entire territory of what is today the DRC, from Congo Central to the Katanga. He went everywhere. He walked the land. Every major region of Congo received his presence. This alone destroys any attempt to confine him to a tribal identity. Kimbangu is the father of the Congolese spiritual consciousness. His message was global. There is something else, something rarely stated because it was systematically erased. Kimbangu was not speaking only to Congo with a K, not only to Congolese. He was speaking to the entire Black world. In his teaching, he spoke of the transatlantic slave trade, the suffering of the African diaspora, the liberation of Black people across the world, the rising of those in the Americas, the strengthening of those in the Caribbean, and the awakening of those in the United States. He announced that the liberation of Congo would radiate far beyond Congo, that the rise of this land would ignite a global reawakening of the African spirit. This is why he was suppressed. This is why he was silenced. This is why he was erased from history, because his message carries a very dangerous power. The power to unite Black people around a single spiritual axis. I haven't said economical. I said a single spiritual axis. The power to reveal a shared destiny. The power to rebuild a scattered world through sovereign and consciousness. This is the part of Kimbangu to the world was never meant to hear, and yet it is the part the world needs the most today. Patrice Lumumba himself traveled to Congo Central because he had heard of Kimbangu, because he had heard of his teaching, because he understood the prophetic dimension of the man. Kimbangu is, in truth, the father of Congolese independence. But like all things powerful in Congo, he was invisibilized. The silence around his name is a political strategy. Kimbangu taught that the generation counting 4 or 5 presidents, according to the translation, after independence would not work for the country's benefits. A generation destined to lose everything before renewal could become possible. Today, many Congolese feel this loss materializing. They see it in the Washington signature, a country compelled once again to yield part of its wealth, its land, its future, and the promise of peace. Meanwhile, bombs continue to fall in the east. Civilians continue to die. Massacres continues every day. Even international observers, especially in the United States, have begun to express shock at the contradiction. How can a nation sign a security agreement on the same day its people are being bombed? This contradiction is not rhetorical. The people, the divine king, and sovereignty. A prophetic reading may give some the illusion that everything is written. The destiny will simply unfold on its own. This is false. When Kimbangu spoke of the spiritual maturity of the people, of the Congolese people, he meant something precise. Without collective awakening, there will be no renewal, no divine king, no sovereignty. The people are not spectators. They are the condition. They are the trigger. If the people do not awaken, nothing will happen. For decades, some Congolese have waited from the Longi, that divine king, prophet, teacher, that political, spiritual savior. But this expectation is dangerous. It immobilizes, it infantilizes, it makes sovereignty impossible. So let me say it clearly. Yes, the Longi will come, but the people decide the speed, and the people decide the incarnation. The Longi is not a person, or not only a person. The Longi is a frequency. The Longi is political sovereignty, scientific sovereignty, and spiritual sovereignty. These three poles do not fall from the sky. They are cultivated, embodied, built. We must become the scientists, the strategists, the thinkers, the builders, the awakened ones, the sovereigns. People call the Longi not with its mouth, but with its vibration. All power, spiritual, political, scientific, begins with one thing: consciousness. And we are the axis where these three forces converge. Prophecy is not fatalism. Prophecy is a map. We are the one who walk it. This is not just political news. This is not just diplomacy. This is not just Washington. This is a civilizational moment. A moment where prophecy, history, trauma, sovereignty, and awakening collide. It may feel like an ending, but endings are often thresholds. From now on, the essential question is not what will they do to us? The essential question is, what will we decide to become? The awakening will not come from above. It will rise from within. We are entering a new era, and the world is watching a people remember who they are.